Pomeriggio, come al solito, ci sbagliamo. Pomeriggio siamo tornati su Peace Walker, sul vero Metal Gear 5 e ho già provato, siamo già sulla schermata pronti per la prossima missione. Prossima missione dopo aver battuto prima la meccanizzata, poi il carro armato, le due boss fight che abbiamo fatto nella prima live. Abbiamo recuperato Cico, l'abbiamo salvato e ci ha dato informazioni che per proseguire, per poter attraversare la montagna, eccola, c'è la descrizione, è vero, sono deficiente. Il cambio che trasporta il stato nucleare è diretto verso il vulcano Irazu. Il ponte a nord del campo di prigionia è l'unico modo per raggiungerlo, però è bloccato da una barricata e quindi ci serve il C4. Il gioco ci sta dicendo equipaggiati il C4 perché se non hai il C4 ovviamente non puoi fare la missione e noi lo faremo subito. No, questa non utilizziamola ancora. Andiamo con la tigrata. E... Survival. Fumoggia non la uso tanto, quindi semmai si metto al posto del C4. No, di qua. Eccolo qua. C4. Quindi siamo a posto. Scatola della mare non mi serve, quindi avevo il Walkman. Non l'ho ancora mai utilizzato, però si sa mai, magari è carino. A parte questo, volevo prima di cominciare la missione ascoltare qualche cassetta che io so già che dopo nel finale dopo staremo là fermi mezz'ora solo ad ascoltare i dialoghi. Quindi in questo vi avverto già, però cerco comunque di mostrare più cassette possibili nel mentre durante il gioco, distribuire questi dialoghi un po' meglio. Allora, con Miller, su C4, il basilisco, questo può essere interessante.
Those giant footprints near the terminal. What do you think they were, Kaz?
It beats me. They're way too big, even for an elephant. Made me think of that basilisco Chico was talking about.
Hope it's not for real.
Same here. If they really do have that kind of weapon, we could be dealing with a basilisk in more than just looks.
What do you mean?
There's a medieval encyclopedia that describes the basilisk like this. The basilisk is the king of snakes. All snakes fear the basilisk and flee at its sight, lest they be slain by its foul breath.
A snake to take out a snake, huh?
I don't mean to scare you or anything, but it never hurts to be careful.
Will do.
Credo che sia arrivato anche il momento. Non l'ho fatto la scorsa volta che c'era già tanta roba, però qui volevo un attimo approfondire il personaggio di Miller, che viene approfondito soprattutto nelle cassette, almeno il suo passato. Quindi, i Militants Sans Frontières.
Remember why we created MSF Snake. To provide military force to whoever needs it, wherever they are, regardless of nation or ideology. Our beliefs aren't all that lofty.
We just won't be the tools of any one country.
Exactly. We know only how to fight, but we refuse to live our lives at the whim of the state. The MSF seal is patterned after Pangea, the supercontinent from 250 million years ago. Back then, the whole world was one landmass, one world. No gaps, no rifts.
Our strength will take us back there.
Interessante.
What about you, Kaz? Any interest in expanding MSF?
You'd better believe it. I want to make us into an organization that doesn't take orders from any country. Just like you were saying, we have to be strong. Strong enough to defend ourselves. We need money, too. Money to train soldiers to fight. The way I see it, we make MSF into something along the lines of a new kind of business. A contractor providing the full range of military services. Not just combat, but logistics, training, weapons, outfitting, and R&D. Combining the small footprint and exceptional performance of special forces with the raw military might of a full regular army. Only with that kind of power can we break free of nation-states. What I need from you, boss, is to go out and find guys we can bring back here using Fulton Recovery. Then tell us what assignment to use them for. I'll take care of the rest.
Allora, questi dialoghi qua, tutti questi tre, soprattutto gli ultimi due, sembrano molto interessanti, ma preferisco forse ancora aspettare, magari alla prossima diretta li ascoltiamo, quando verrà effettivamente fuori la tematica della deterrenza e appunto della pace. Un grande leader su se stesso. Ruolo della Motherbase no, però.
March 10th, 1945. 381,300 cluster bombs were dropped on Tokyo. Japanese houses at the time were almost all made of wood. In that single day, a third of Tokyo burned to the ground. My mom lost her family and home in that raid. She had to move to Yokosuka and live with her cousin. The B-29s kept on coming, razing other major cities throughout Japan without mercy. Then, in August, they dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and Japan surrendered to the United States at last. After that, Yokosuka was flooded with American soldiers come to occupy the country. My mother was still in her mid-teens, and she learned from her cousin how to survive in that town, by servicing the troops. That's how she met my father, and how I was born. My father was an officer serving with the government section of Allied GHQ under General Whitney. Whitney was known as MacArthur's shadow, and my father rode his coattails to a pretty high rank. While he was in Japan, he treated my mom like a wife. After he went back to the States, though, she never heard from him. I wasn't born until after he went back. My mom raised me as a single mother. She used the money my father left her to open a shop selling cigarettes and stuff to occupation troops. It was a decent living, but I didn't have citizenship. They're working to change the law now, but back then if your father was unknown, you couldn't get onto the Japanese family register. And in Japan, that means you can't be Japanese. So as I watched the American soldiers around town, I said to myself, I'm a son of America, the victor. My hair and eyes were different from the skinny, downtrodden Japanese around me. I told myself I'd leave this country someday and return to my true homeland. When I was around 10 years old, my mom fell ill, pretty much leaving me to run the shop in her place. One day I found a single picture of my father in the back of a drawer in the shop. I'd show it to the American soldiers who came into the store. A few years went by before one of them told me who he was. I know him, that's Miller. I started asking other guys, do you know where Miller is now? Can anybody tell me where Colonel Miller is now? Turns out he'd left the service and was making a living as an instructor for soldiers in Virginia. It was one of his students who finally told me that. I wrote him a letter in English. I'm your son. I want to go to the United States. Day after day I waited. Then just when I was about to give up, the post office delivered my future to the door. My father sent me some money. I thought my dream was going to come true. I was only thinking of myself. So I went to my bedridden mother and convinced her to let me go. My father arranged for a car to pick me up. It was jet black. When the neighborhood kids who'd always made fun of my hair saw it, their jaws practically hit the ground. I put my mom in a hospital and went on my own to America. When I met my father for the first time, he was living alone in a big house. He told me he'd lost his son, his American son in Vietnam. He showed me a picture of my older brother. I guess that and his divorce left my father feeling lonely, which is probably why he finally took an interest in me. He'd retired from teaching. He was stooped over, could hardly walk, but he gave me two things: the name Miller and money for school. I used it to learn English and then go to college. America was exhausted from years of fighting in Vietnam. They were waging war in a foreign land, while at home, people were screaming for peace. Right after I graduated, I went back to Japan, alone. My father refused to see my mom. It was the first time I'd seen her in years, and she wouldn't even look at me. At first, I thought she was mad at me, but that wasn't it. Disease had taken her mind. A disease she got while she was young and desperate. She didn't even know who I was. I said, Mom, it's me, Kazuhira. As I spoke, the sound of my own voice rang in my ears. Katsuhira, the name my mom gave me. It means peace in Japanese. I was Japanese. At least, I was the son of this tiny Japanese woman. It was then, for the first time, that I understood the reason, the emotion that inspired my mother to give me that name. She'd watched her hometown and family go up in flames. Her body and her mind were ravaged by war. And yet she chose to have a child named Peace, with a man who was once her enemy. Japan lost the war. But what good is war as a measure of a country? Since the war and up until the oil shock last year, Japan's economy has grown every single year. It's on its way to becoming a stronger country than ever. I stayed in Japan and joined the JSDF. I was 22 at the time. I did it to pay our bills. But it wasn't just that. I could have found work anywhere. And I knew it. And still, I couldn't think of anything else to do with myself. 2 years later, I didn't have to worry about Mom's hospital bills anymore. I left the JSDF and went back to the States. My father was already dead and buried. I was told he'd shot himself in the head. America crushed Japan, but it also crushed my father. My American dream was over. After that, I drifted around and, well, you know the rest. GHQ made women like my mother. It made Japan's peace constitution and the JSDF. And it made me. I was spawned by war, but I don't want to die in one. I won't die for a country, and I won't live like a pauper. I won't have my fate decided by some family register. So as long as I stick with you, boss, I've got a good feeling none of that will happen.
Tante informazioni questo fa già capire con una cassetta da pochi minuti quanto impegno ci ha messo Kojima nel costruire il background di Miller, nel nostro caso. Buonasera, salve. E una curiosità, prima, quando Kojima aveva fatto Metal Gear Solid, la sua idea era quella di rendere Big Boss, non dico con questo esatto passato, ma più o meno simile comunque, un uomo nato durante il finire della seconda guerra mondiale, non mi ricordo se era proprio da giapponese o comunque mezzo americano e mezzo giapponese, era sempre stata la sua idea, quindi immagino comunque l'idea fosse più o meno quella che ha dato a Miller. Poi ha fatto Metal Gear Solid 3 e con Big Boss ha creato tutto un altro background. E quel background probabilmente che voleva dare Big Boss alla fine ha creato un nuovo personaggio, anzi un vecchio, e l'ha dato a Miller. Eh, è molto interessante lui, molto particolare.
Life's funny sometimes, isn't it?
What brought that on?
We first met as enemies on the battlefield. And now here we are fighting side by side.
You mean Columbia?
Yeah, after I quit the JSDF. I made my way there and got myself a position as a drill sergeant for a band of revolutionaries, despite the fact that I'd never seen a day of combat.
I see you had the gift for talking business in Spanish even back then.
Oh, come on, stop it. You're making me blush. Unlucky for me, though, you were in the service of the Colombian army. I remember it like it was yesterday. It all happened in an instant. You guys ambushed us, and half my unit was taken out. My mind went totally blank. I couldn't keep it together. My whole unit was wiped out, and I was left half dead from a bomb blast.
Then, as I was leaving, you yelled out at me. I came all the way from Japan to be here. My place is on the battlefield. Then you asked for my help, saying, I want to be the one to end it. I remember being surprised that there were still samurai in Japan.
You guys came over to me. I had a grenade hidden under me, but even then you were too fast. The second I pulled the pin, you grabbed the hand I was using to hold the grenade with both palms.
I didn't want it to go off. I'd heard samurai were a proud bunch. I wanted to know why one of them would stoop so low as to try to take his opponent with him.
And I said, I'll never lose again. We'll never lose again.
Yeah. We'll do whatever it takes, but we'll never be beaten again.
Then, I passed out from the blood loss. When I woke up, I was in your camp's infirmary, stuck full of tubes. Why'd you save me? Your enemy after I tried to kill you.
Because you swallowed your pride and fought with everything you had.
I just didn't want to lose.
You found a way to fight back, even in the face of death, even when you knew you were going to die. That's the mark of a true warrior. It's not about gain and loss, or victory and defeat. I looked at the way you lived your life and saw the path I needed to take. As a warrior.
Wow. I never knew that. And that's why you...
I realized then that the battlefield doesn't only divide people into allies and enemies. Sometimes it tells you more than just who's an ally or who's an enemy. Sometimes it helps reveal your true comrades.
Like you and me, huh?
That's right. And 2 years later, here we are.
E anche qua parecchio interessante il loro modo di cui sono conosciuti. Ah, sinceramente questi qua non mi interessa. Vabbè, andiamo, partiamo con la missione. Se no siamo troppo fermi anche. Non vi ho fatto ascoltare l'audio di briefing. Ah, beh, non credo che fosse comunque importante. Lasciamo perdere. Ok, siamo
Go back
tornati.
to the prison camp. It's in the village where they were holding Chico.
E quindi adesso dobbiamo fare. La missione è tornare totalmente indietro. Siamo arrivati da qua, da De Spiritus. Dobbiamo rifare tutta la strada indietro. Aspetta là.
Enemies close.
Tutti sveglissimi i soldati come sempre. Del resto. C'è la torretta qua? Non c'è nessuno. Ok. Ecco, sai, l'unica cosa che mi è sempre dispiaciuta di Peace Walker è non poter ascoltare le cassette mentre giochi. Cosa che poi questo ci sarà invece in The Phantom Pain. Peccato, vabbè che appunto forse proprio la PSP non sarebbe riuscita a sopportare,
What was that?
poverina. Però, peccato.
Head west from there, and it'll take you straight to the prison camp.
Ma dove siamo arrivati? Cas.
If you cut across the prison camp, you'll find a gate leading north. Hey! Somebody there?
No, ho sbagliato. Qua mi sa che dovremmo addormentare un po' di gente perché se dobbiamo fare esplodere il C4. Cazzo. Vieni qua, vieni qua. Ush. Maledetto. No, non l'hai detto però. Appunto.
Negative. We can't spare reinforcements. You'll have to make do
Ah.
with what you have.
Sfigati.
We're under attack!
Ok, ci siamo. Ah, ok. Classico.
To plant a C4 charge, hold down the aim button and press
Già
the
guardato.
attack button. Good work, Snake.
E questa è stata una missione assai tosta. Pam, pam. Ok. Allora, infilati nella base del cratere. Segui testate nucleari, infiltrati nella principale base nemica all'interno del cratere dell'Iresu.
Snake, you're north of the village. The truck carrying the nukes is heading towards the heart of the mountain. That's its final destination. We've got no intel on what lies beyond, so stay sharp.
Ok. Allora, mi dispiace ma devo mettere un attimo il faccione mio che vorrei ascoltare qualche altra cassetta, però non voglio spoilerare nulla, quindi... pa, 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 pa. Qua allora, volendo sì c'è. No, ok. Là. Qualcosa su Paz, che è un personaggio che alla fine abbiamo a malapena conosciuto lei.
My mother was the one who named me Paz. She said it was an expression of her wish that the country stay at peace. It is a pretty common name in Central America. My mother always used to tell me, never make war. Always help keep the peace.
I remember. Your grandparents.
Yes, they died in the Civil War. I think that is why my mother hated war so much.
That's another thing you've got in common with Kaz. His mother named him Peace, too.
See, because Japan also suffered through war. I think I know how Mr. Miller's mother felt.
Non voglio fare lo stronzo, però sì, il Giappone ha sofferto molto la guerra. Però ha fatto soffrire anche a parecchie altre persone la guerra. Però vabbè, mi butto, non voglio dire troppo. Anche noi.
You like the peace sign, huh?
See, as a gesture, it connects every peace-loving person. Here, you try it, Snake. Peace.
No thanks. It doesn't suit me.
Too bad for you.
You know, the V in the peace sign comes from the V in victory. When did it start standing for peace?
I am not completely sure, but I guess it came out of the protest movement against the Vietnam War. Oh, and do not turn your hand around when you do it, especially around British people. It is insulting.
E anche questo è vero, il V al contrario, e non così, ma al contrario, è un segno di... è un insulto come, è un insulto che si usava in Inghilterra, di origine medievale, vabbè. Lasciamo perdere, non perdiamoci in altri argomenti.
So, you live alone now?
No, not alone. I've been living in school dormitories since I started junior high. After my mother died, my relatives took me in, but they were not my real family.
You didn't fit in there.
In a way. My aunts were kind to me and all. But I know how difficult it must have been to suddenly have a child thrust into their lives. When you live with someone, there are no secrets. I could tell my being there was a burden on them.
Sounds like a rough childhood.
I would not say that. I was lucky just to have people take me in. There were fanos living out in the streets because their mothers died. It is even worse in countries with frequent civil wars. So, who am I to complain about my childhood?
You're a pretty tough kid, you know?
Not at all. I am not strong at all. I have a favor to ask you, Snake.
Name it.
I want you to give me a job here. I want to help out.
You sure? You just went through hell of a time. You should probably take it easy until you're settled.
Thank you. But there must be something I can do. You would not want me near a gun. But I am a decent cook.
Now there's a skill we can use.
Put me on the mess hall team. I think I can handle it. Once I get used to it, I will even add in some Costa Rican recipes.
Sounds like a plan.
E adesso sappiamo anche qualcos'altro di Paz. Appunto, un personaggio molto particolare, quello di Paz, anche proprio... Mi visto proprio anche nella tutta la Metal Gear Saga, per carità, lei è proprio un personaggio, a differenza di quelli che ho visto di solito, lei è proprio particolarmente un personaggio positivo.
Cross the bridge and head north.
Abbiamo avuto anche tanti altri personaggi positivi, per carità, guarda Otacon per dire, in un certo senso se vogliamo anche Sokolov. È proprio, come dire, l'incarnazione della pace in un certo senso. Perché c'è l'oggettino, oggettina. Ehi. Avete sentito?
That's a truck route you're on. Their base is up ahead. Move out.
Ok. Siccome vedo che già il silenziatore inizia a diminuire, cerchiamo di usare il meno possibile l'MK. Che se non erro nella prossima area mi servirà. Anche se tutti sti soldati col elmetto non mi piace per niente. Quindi giù di CQC. Qua. Prigioniero.
Oh, all right.
Felicissimo.
Fulton recovery subject confirmed onboard helicopter.
Ma ti pare il modo andare in giro armato con un lanciarazzi? Scusa, non so. L'arma d'ordinanza? Non so. Fuerte la ladera.
You have to get through that fort. Their base is beyond it.
Bene, ok. Un attimo.
Can't be imagining things. Can't be imagining things.
Perché non mi ricarica? Ah, ok. Sono quei soldati che potrebbero vedermi, perché vorrei andare là e stenderlo col CQC, però con quei soldati là sopra La vedo assai grigia. Non ho visto il soldato che è caduto, quindi...
Wait.
1 e 2. Bueno. C'è un pisolo. Ah. Salve.
Fulton recovery helicopter is complete.
Finiamo un attimo di esplorare, tanto manca solo questa stanzetta. Ok. Se non ci fosse un altro soldato che gira. Ok. Porco, è vero.
Kaz, I'm inside the facility. There's rows and rows of trucks here.
If that's where they brought the nukes, then the truck we're after should be there. Snake, can you tell which one of the trucks brought the nukes? One of them must have the same license plate as the one from the terminal.
Nothing. Metal gear. Not this one. Sunlight! This is the one. The exhaust's still warm. But the cargo's already been offloaded.
Just a minute. This isn't what we agreed on.
It's too late. The changes have already been finalized.
You told me it was going to be a deterrent, that we wouldn't have to launch.
I am not arguing with you, Doctor. Our goal is to create the perfect deterrent.
That's why I agreed to help develop it.
However, in order to achieve that perfect deterrent, we must show the world our strength. 3 key principles ensure effective nuclear deterrence. First, you must have nuclear weapons. Second, you must never use them first. And third, and most important, if someone attacks you, you must strike back. Unless we prove beyond a doubt that these 3 principles work in practice, the world will not accept our new deterrent. And the only way to do that is to show them we are capable of actually launching a nuke.
But isn't deterrence supposed to stop nukes from being used?
Exactly. And so the one we launch will be the last one ever.
I won't let you use my creation like that.
Your creation? That thing wasn't even your idea to begin with. You stole it, didn't you?
Stole it? You're one to talk. You got the idea for bipedal locomotion from the communists in the first place.
You listen to me, Doc. Keep quiet. Do as I say. And not another word about stolen ideas. Should we succeed here, you'll be the toast of the scientific community. And your name will go down in history as champion of both progress and national security.
The hell with that!
Doctor! Unless we prove we're capable of launching, Peace Walker is useless as a deterrent.
You used me!
We used each other. I'll get my old director's job back at headquarters, and you'll finally be able to walk tall among your colleagues.
I won't let you get away with this!
How unfortunate. Guess I'll just have to take your legs for myself. Peace won't just come to us, Doc. We are going to have to meet it halfway. V for victory.
Wait!
Hey, you okay?
Don't do it!
Snap out of it. Where are the nukes?
He's gonna do it! He's gonna launch a nuke!
Take him out!
Look out! It's one of the unmanned! Heads up!
Ricorda qualcosa il puppa, eh? Se passo un po'. Ok. Ricorda un po' qualcosa quel puppa. Qualche vibes di Metal Gear Solid 3. Grazie. Non c'è il dialogo, no? Scusi, in corso? No, ok. Sì. Ricorda molto lo Shagod. E l'abbiamo visto. Il Peace Walker. Che lo stavano portando via. È tutto molto problematico. Abbiamo conosciuto due nuovi personaggi. Due nuovi personaggi molto, molto importanti. Il nostro Huey, che già dal doppiatore ci può già capire e intuire, e Coldman, che se non si fosse capito è cattivo, non è proprio un stinco di santo. Al fatto è dato sistemare Visto che da un po' che non lo faccio, sistemare i soldati qua. Ok. Di là. Devo levare uno perché sono troppi. Metto medicina. Vai. Ricerca. Minacce. Ah. Gli oggetti invece cosa posso sviluppare? Vai col mate, sì. Può essere sempre utile. Eccola mia. Ok. Torniamo qua. E adesso abbiamo questa nuova boss fight dove abbiamo affrontato un corazzato, abbiamo affrontato un carro armato, adesso ci troviamo contro uno Shagod automatizzato. C'è da precisare sta cosa. Vediamo che ci sono dei dialoghi, ci sono delle cassette anzi.
Careful, Snake. I've never seen anything like that, and I've got no idea how to bring it down. Maybe the scientist knows. However you do it, take that thing out.
Penso solo dopo la boss fight ne possiamo parlare. Sì, solo dopo la boss fight. Ok. Prepariamoci. Battaglia.
Combat.
Here we go. La prima boss fight di oggi.
That's an AI weapon. The pupa. It's fast, so be careful.
Engaging shock units.
Lie flat to avoid getting hit when it charges.
Engaging shock units.
Ok, questi finiti. Quasi quasi.
They've okayed the request for support. They're sending out a cardboard box as we speak.
Take those lightning rods out. They direct its electroshock attack.
Tardo. Faccio le cose, ci ha levato tutta la vita, sono d'accordo. Ma scendi giù! Ciao!
There'll be some warning signs when it's coming out.
Quindi è qua il che sei. Tu dimmi, tu sei lo scienziato, l'hai costruito tu. So. merda. Peccato. È proprio di là doveva rompersi, che palle.
Destroy the treads on the left and right to stop it from doing its punch attack. You should be able to get in the AI pod.
Lo distruggiamo dall'interno, letteralmente.
Pull out all the AI's memory boards before the pod's ejected. The black memory boards are locked. Go after the boards with icons over them. You can unlock memory boards by destroying the mechanical components that they control. Any boards you remove can be used to build our own AI weapon. Memory boards have different functions according to the icons displayed over them. Go ahead and take whichever ones you want.
Esatto. Per costruire il nostro personale, è tutto nostro, Metal Gear. E ogni boss fight dove devo combattere contro delle IA come questa, avremo altri pezzi che ci permetteranno di avere dopo la nostra IA.
That was an unmanned weapon. A prototype. I made it myself.
Who are you?
I work here. Well, used to, anyway. Name's Huey. And who might you be? You don't look like one of those mercenaries.
Me. I'm an entomologist.
A fighting entomologist?
Yeah, I specialize in butterflies. I'm here to catch Ulysses.
Ulysses? Huh. I didn't think they lived in Costa Rica. Morphos, maybe?
That's it. Need to get some before the Washington Treaty goes into effect.
Says here Morphos aren't covered under the treaty.
Must have slipped my mind.
You sure you're feeling all right?
Anyway, long story short, the butterfly got away. So how about it, Doc? Did you make that big butterfly too?
Yes. And no.
What was that thing? What are they doing here?
Huh. Something tells me you're no ordinary entomologist. The nukes were loaded on that machine. The project's entering its final phase.
Project?
That's right. The thermonuclear warheads they brought in, the bases scattered throughout Costa Rica, the mercenaries, the AI weapons, the research we were conducting here. It's all for this. We used this facility to develop unmanned weapons.
Unmanned.
Robots. The one you just fought was a pupa. There's also a flying type called Chrysalis and a treaded type, the Cocoon. Motor control, target detection, tracking, attack, capture, and transport functions are all controlled by an electronic brain. There's no need for a human pilot. They can only follow simple commands, though.
Why build them here?
For the CIA. They invited me here a year ago.
That's who that guy was.
CIA's station chief for Central America. Goes by the name of Hot Coldman. Apparently he was some sort of hero back at the height of the Cold War. He's the one running the show. We called it the Peace Walker Project.
Peace Walker.
They're going to deploy a new type of nuclear weapon along the Caribbean coast of Latin America. A mobile, unmanned nuclear platform.
Unmanned nuclear platform.
A fail-deadly system that can automatically move into position and launch a retaliatory nuclear strike. It can move on its own, and stealth shields it from radar and satellite detection, drastically reducing the risk of it being destroyed in a preemptive strike.
And this is the new deterrent?
Supposed to be. The problem is the locomotion system. There's no dry season in the Caribbean. It rains all year round. The terrain is full of tropical rainforest. A lot of the time you can't even build a proper road. So I went back to where it all started.
What's that?
Legs. Walking power. A mobile launcher carrying a thermonuclear warhead even more powerful than the Soviet RDS-220s. That's Peace Walker.
Chico's Basilisco.
We did the assembly and field testing here.
A walking nuke.
I sort of borrowed the original idea from behind the Iron Curtain.
The missing link between infantry and artillery. Metal Gear.
Metal Gear. But they'd actually need to deploy dozens of them. Coldman needs funding for that. And to get it, he's planning a test, which will also serve as a demonstration for the folks back at Langley.
Wait, he's launching a nuke to prove that his perfect deterrent works?
In his words, to prove that if someone attacks us, we will strike back. Put simply, nuclear deterrence is the idea of using nukes to keep nukes in check. If one side launches nuclear weapons, the other is sure to launch theirs in retaliation, which makes launching an act of suicide. In the end, neither side can use its nukes. It's thanks to this doctrine that the world's two superpowers have avoided all-out confrontation. Nuclear deterrence has brought us peace. At the very least, it's prevented another world war from breaking out. But the theory of nuclear deterrence exists only on paper. In reality, there's no guarantee that either side would follow through with retaliation. There's the chance that a preemptive strike could destroy all the missile bases, render them unable to retaliate. But the biggest flaw in the theory is that the decision to retaliate has to be made by human beings. Let me give you a real-world example. Let's say Country X launches first against Country Y. If the people in charge of Country Y are like you and me, they're not going to be able to retaliate, knowing that they're effectively ending all human life.
So then the weak link in nuclear deterrence theory is the uncertainty of retaliation.
Bingo. And that creates a loophole Country X can exploit to launch the first strike. Which is why we designed the system to be unmanned. With Peace Walker, retaliation is certain. It chooses the appropriate target and launches a retaliatory nuclear strike, every time, without needing human input to make the call. Launching a nuclear strike against Peace Walker is tantamount to pushing the launch button against yourself. It closes the loophole in nuclear deterrence theory, rendering our friends in Country X completely unable to launch. What Coldman is saying is that to achieve this goal, we need to demonstrate that retaliation will be carried out by a machine. He will launch his nuke. And then his version of deterrence will be complete.
And you believe him?
I believe in peace through nuclear deterrence.
Why?
My father worked on the Manhattan Project. He put his whole life into that research. And all it created was this illusion of peace called deterrence. And then I was born, unable to walk. I had no choice but to face up to the nukes. But if they do end up launching, it'll all have been for nothing. They've got to be stopped.
Where'd they take the warheads?
To a base near the border. The final test is 5 days from now.
Where's the base?
You're gonna stop them? It's kind of a hike. And besides, there's a surefire way to halt the project. You see, Peace Walker isn't quite finished yet.
What do you mean?
It's missing one last critical structural component. The AI. Its brain. The reptile pod, the electronic brain I was working on, can only follow commands like, go there, attack that. I guess you could compare it to the human cerebellum. But for nuclear deterrence to work, it must function in place of a human decision maker. It needs something to analyze the huge volumes of data coming in and select an appropriate target for retaliation. Hence, it needs the high-level decision-making ability of a cerebrum.
A mechanical cerebrum.
The hardware configuration is modeled on the human brain, similar to the pod I worked on, but its role is completely different.
Where's it being made?
A research lab to the north. An AI expert named Dr. Strangelove is developing it. Very hush-hush.
Dr. Strangelove.
Strangelove was recruited from the States, too. In the field of AI, there's no one better, that's for sure. But man, what a basket case. She hates everybody. Go to the lab and destroy Peace Walker's cerebrum. I'm pretty sure they haven't finished the final calibrations yet. I'll lend you my ID card. It'll get you through security at the lab. Oh, and one more thing.
What's this? A letter of recommendation?
Yeah, it's from me to Dr. Strangelove. Don't read it, okay?
So what will you do now?
I'm done with science. At this rate, I'm probably already halfway to hell anyway.
Not so fast. Why not join us? Our place is outer heaven. You'd fit right in.
Outer heaven?
Yeah.
I'm probably better suited to something like that than this paradise.
Good. You get a free balloon trip for signing up. Enjoy it. You'll feel like a butterfly.
You're an agent, right? Who do you work for?
Me. I was a Cold War tool, same as you. Now I'm not so useful anymore, so they cut me loose. I don't answer to anyone. Call me Snake.
Snake? That name seems familiar somehow.
It's probably just deja vu.
See that there? Beyond the cloud forest? See those ruins?
Yeah.
That's where you'll find Dr. Strangelove's lab.
Déjà vu, hein? Se. Come no?
Snake, the doctor's safe here with us.
Huey, how are you feeling?
Never better. This is quite the pad you've got here, boss. I'm impressed.
Call me Snake.
Whatever you say. Like it or not, everyone here calls you boss. By the way, if you're at all interested in improving your tech, by all means assign me to the R&D section. I'm pretty sure I'll be of some use. Once we have the necessary materials and blueprints, we can start work on that bipedal mech.
I appreciate that, but are you sure you're okay with having your work used for war?
I'll be using it to keep past mistakes in check. If I can help thwart the Peace Walker project, I'm happy to do it.
Deterrence theory, Huey style, huh?
Anyway, if you need any intel on the enemy's weapons or electronic brains, contact me. I've been given my own frequency.
Sounds good to me, Doc. I'll do that.
Good. Whatever the means, you must put a stop to their plans.
Ecco, quello che voglio subito precisare è che Huey, per quanto può sembrare l'esatta coppia di quello che sarà suo figlio, Hal, bisogna capire che in realtà non si assomigliano molto. Tutti e due soffrono dello stesso problema, l'errore che la scienza ha portato ad armi devastanti, appunto come l'atomica, e si portano dietro questo peso, ma la pensano in maniera diversa. Hal è per la pace, una vera e propria pace. Huey invece crede nella pace attraverso la deterrenza. Hal no, invece. E per quanto può essere un dettaglio, non è solo un dettaglio, fa già capire molto il tipo di persona. Ora, proviamo la Mother Base. Salta. Ah. Ok, mi interessa questo, sì. Mi sono migliorati, bene. I nuovi soldati. Mensa. Ricerca. Molto fumogena. Sì. Ok, basta. E qua abbiamo la lettera che ci ha dato Huey da dare a Strangelove, a questa dottoressa, Dr. Strangelove. La lettera che Huey per Strangelove, che è stata affidata a Snake, gli ho detto chiaramente che non vuole che venga letta. Ops. Ehi, è tanto che non ci si sente, eh? Scusa se ti scrivo così, senza preavviso. Ho provato a contattarti, ma sai che non mi hai risposto. È stato qualcosa che ho detto, forse? Se è così mi scuso, ma c'è qualcosa che voglio dirti, quindi ho deciso di scriverlo in una lettera. Cioè, ovviamente, questo non è il momento più adatto, ma io sono, sai, un po' curioso sulla tua ricerca, eccetera. A proposito, come sta riuscendo il pod? Mi domando se il programma non riesco a stare dietro, che funziona. Che conoscete, sì. Allora, mi piace che persona quasi balbetta anche in una lettera. Non scompaia perché l'ho fatto l'ultima volta. Il tuo caro amico, e qua ce l'ho già segnata praticamente, Huey. Se Huey è un attimino infatuato di questa dottoressa Strangelove. Che dobbiamo ancora conoscere noi però. Andiamo verso il laboratorio quindi. Raggiungi la foresta umida. Bel nome. Nella volta dell'eredia centrale dove è nascosta all'interno delle antiche rovine Maya. Si trova il laboratorio del dottor Strangelove.
Snake, Peace Walker is the heart of the enemy's project. To prevent its completion, you'll need to either shut down or destroy the artificial intelligence that functions as its brain. According to Huey, that AI is now undergoing final calibrations in Strangelove's lab. It's inside a tropical cloud forest. Slip in and terminate that AI before they ship it out.
Ok, abbiamo Huey. Progetto Manhattan, crisi dei missili di Cuba, la corsa allo spazio della guerra fredda, il progetto Peace Walker, piattaforma mobile in lancio, Peace Walker, flotta di Peace Walker, bipede, progetto Peace Walker, ricerca sovietica, bipede.
I based the bipedal locomotion technology used in Peace Walker on Soviet research. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I stole most of the basic ideas behind it.
Soviet? Bipedal? You mean Granin?
You know him?
Yeah. I met him at his lab in Russia. He helped me out a little bit.
You met him? What were you?
He was head of the Granin Design Bureau, creator of countless Soviet weapons.
I'd hit a wall in my research at the time. Granin's ideas solved nearly all my problems.
There's nothing unusual about using somebody else's work to further your own research, is there?
As long as you cite it, yeah. But I wasn't in a position to do that. His research was classified at the highest level. Soviet research, no less.
So, you used it without telling anybody?
I wanted to show up my colleagues for once. The ones who never took me seriously. But you reap what you sow. Coldman seized on that vulnerability. Told me if I quit the project, he'd expose my larceny.
He had you by the balls, Doc. How'd you get your hands on Granin's research?
That was also Coldman. He used his agency contacts to get a hold of it.
Giving you stolen information, then using it to blackmail you. Damn.
I knew it was Granin's work the minute I saw it. See, I'd been corresponding with him for a while.
Corresponding?
Letters. Between scientists doing the same kind of research. He always complained that nobody understood his ideas on bipedal locomotion.
Ah, so you're the American friend he was talking about.
Obviously, he didn't write a word about the technology in his letters, except for one time. If by chance anything should happen to me, I entrust my research to you. Better that than handing it over to these ignorant so-called scientists.
Sounds like him, all right.
Then one day, his papers actually came. It wasn't hard for me to imagine what had happened to him. I felt it was my duty to carry on his work after him. And also...
What?
I thought maybe combining his technology with mine could be a way to bring East and West together, like the docking of Apollo and Soyuz.
It'll never make the history books, and it's still not a reason to plagiarize.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I never had the courage to tell the truth, that's all. I always looked for excuses to cover it up.
Until now.
Huh?
You told me everything. You're no longer a coward.
Metal Gear.
Huh? What about it?
You mumbled that when I first explained about Peace Walker. I'm curious what it meant.
Exactly what it says. Metal Gear. Granin coined the term.
Granin did?
He thought of his technology as the metal gear that meshes infantry with artillery.
I like the sound of that. Metal Gear. It's got a nice ring to it. Better than an outright lie like Peace Walker, anyway.
Those papers the CIA gave you, was there any data on the Shagohod in there?
Shagohod?
A nuclear tank that launches IRBMs. It competed against Gronin's system for approval.
Oh, the thing with the rockets. Designed by a guy named Sokolov, right?
What's so funny?
No, I was just remembering some of the commentary Gronin added to the Shagohod papers. You should have seen the way he badmouthed it. It was too conservative, too ugly.
I can imagine.
He was so angry when he wrote that, he smeared up the ink. And you know how shoddy the paper is over there to begin with.
I'll bet. That's Gronin, all right.
Imagine accelerating the launcher itself to 300 miles an hour to extend the range of an IRBM. As stupid as it sounds, it's a hell of a concept. Who but the Soviets would think of using a tank as the first stage of a rocket? I actually took a cue from the Shagohod when I developed the pupa.
That hovercraft thing? You stole that one too?
Give me a little credit. I only borrowed the concept. The technology is original. As it turned out, hover technology wasn't enough to handle all the terrain in Central America. It relied too much on brute force.
But the Shagohod was a major threat. That thing could corner like you wouldn't believe. Built pretty tough, too.
You sure know a lot about it.
Yeah, it almost did me in. I couldn't forget it if I tried.
Did you in? So you were the one who took it down. Wow! You really are amazing.
I didn't do it alone.
No, seriously, thank you. We might not be here today if they'd begun mass-producing that thing. Then again, they're hard at work now miniaturizing nuclear warheads. Pretty soon they won't even need an accelerated launcher like the Shagohod.
Great. That means they're that much closer to being able to launch from anywhere in the world.
Ok, per ora direi basta. Allora, andare là quindi come fuori battaglia, quindi proviamola. E iniziamo.
Snake, how's the mule treating you?
At this pace, I should be there by tomorrow morning.
You've got to hurry. The AI could be completed any time now.
It'd be nice to have a guide.
Already on it. I've enlisted Paz to help you. She knows the jungle pretty well.
Snake, I know you are an expert in survival, but you need to stay alert. You are in an ancient jungle so foggy, you can hardly see the trees. It is home to 2,500 species of plants, including 400 types of orchids. There are also 500 species of butterflies and over 400 species of wild birds. The bedrock is solid enough that Mayan ruins have miraculously survived centuries of earthquakes.
An AI lab in a Mayan ruin. Who'd have thought, hey, Huey?
My sentiments exactly. That doesn't mean security's any less tight, though. You still have the ID card I gave you, don't you?
Got it right here.
That'll get you through the gate, no problem. After that, you're on your own. As long as the AI remains unassembled, Coldman's plan's on ice.
What about security inside the lab?
Well, it shouldn't be a problem for you. Strangelove demanded that the security presence inside the lab be kept to a minimum.
It's not all good news, Snake. Coldman knows we're here. He's raised security in the area surrounding the lab. You'll be seeing a lot of that Chrysalis UAV, and a bunch of patrol choppers too. There may be scouts in the jungle lying in ambush. As you approach the lab, be extra vigilant.
I'll be careful.
They're looking for you. Stay sharp. Snake, Strangelove's lab is a few miles to the north. It won't be long before the AI is complete. Don't let that happen. If there's enemy scouts around here, they'll be nearly impossible to see.
E rieccoci. E per quanto può sembrare banale, ma sì. Può capitare che non li vedi veramente. Eccolo lì.
I just heard footsteps.
Sta buono.
Fulton recovery subject confirmed onboard helicopter.
Non mi ricordo mai qua devo andare. Ok. Perché ti l'hai chiuso, giusto? Continua la prossima missione, dove abbiamo la seconda boss fight di oggi. Adesso ci buttiamo subito sulla prossima missione e vediamo se c'è magari qualche altra cassetta da ascoltare. Battaglia, elicottero d'attacco.
Snake, that's a hind. You've got to take it out somehow. Either neutralize the soldiers or bring down the chopper. Good luck.
Allora... no. Qualcosa la sua manga. Ah, figa. Mi sono preso così. Oddio, oddio.
Amanda, when did you join up with the Sandinistas?
About a year ago, when I went into the mountains with mi viejo and his group.
I thought your dad was with the FSLN from the start.
No, he fought alongside General Sandino, but after that, he retired for a while. He found a job, got a wife and a house, and raised us kids. Then one day, some Sandinista students came by.
And he felt the old fire in his belly.
Something like that. All he did was help them escape from La Guardia, though. But then La Guardia showed up. They broke into our house and began pushing him around, shouting questions.
I'm guessing he kept his mouth shut.
No matter how hard they hit him. Our house was trashed. After that, he was on their list. They harassed him day and night. It was only then that he gave himself over to the Sandinistas. He kept it hidden from us at first, so we would not get hurt.
He sounds like a good father.
He was. But my mother got fed up with it. She left us. I don't blame her.
Why didn't you go with her?
It was a hard decision for sure. But like my father, I could not let Somoza get away with his crimes. But most of all,
Chico.
he is too much like his papa. One way or the other, he was going to stay, and I could not leave him behind. Soon enough, La Guardia drove us out, and we found ourselves in the mountains. It just kind of happened.
Well, for an accidental revolutionary, you sure put up a hell of a fight.
The mountains make men into warriors. The training is harsh, but it brings us that much closer to being hombres nuevos.
Chico couldn't ask for a better sister. I can see why they picked you to be Commandante.
When I was little, I came down with malaria. Unlucky for me, it was the bad kind. I was in a daze the whole time. And at one point they said I was not going to make it.
Malarial encephalopathy. I hear it's pretty common in tropical malaria cases.
Even today, my memory sometimes gets a little fuzzy. Since then, I've had this fear of mosquitoes. When I hear them buzzing nearby, I get jumpy.
Aha, that explains the chain smoking.
See, I thought it might help keep the mosquitoes away, just a little. Maybe it is all in my head. You're the same way, right?
Well, I will say this. I prefer a cigar over mosquitoes.
Me too.
I've got to hand it to you. Takes guts to conquer your fear like that and live a guerrilla's life in the wild.
It is nothing. El Che did not let asthma stop him from leading the revolution. Compared to him, I am no hero.
I'm sorry to hear about your dad.
Thank you for saying that. Mi viejo was the leader of the Frente. He was the last of the generation that knew General Sandino. He saw the general's exploits firsthand as a boy. He would tell us stories about it all the time and about how the general was assassinated.
Did you know he was getting money from the KGB?
I had some idea, but I did not have the courage to confront him about it. I know it was a painful decision for him to make.
I can imagine.
Yes, my father was a good man. I loved him as a daughter, and his soldiers believed in him. Thanks to him, La Frente held together even in the worst of times. I don't know if I can ever fill his shoes.
Chico's 12, right?
Right.
Isn't he a little short for his age?
Malnourishment. Food is hard to come by when you're running around in the jungle.
He's got quite an appetite.
I know. I didn't want him to come in the first place, but there was no one to take him in. I had no choice but to look after him.
Don't be so hard on yourself. Sometimes it's better for a kid to be with his family than far away in a safe place.
Thank you.
Promise me this, though. When your fight is over, make sure he gets a proper education. Give him a chance to be something other than a guerrilla. It's not too late to teach him something other than fighting.
Okay, I promise. You know what book Chico really likes? The World Encyclopedia of Mysterious Creatures. The Loch Ness Monster, the Yeti.
UMAs. Yeah, I know.
He's still so much like a boy. I worry about him.
He'll be fine. I know plenty of grown men who still go crazy over UMAs.
Are you serious? You have taken such good care of me since you saved me from El Colibri. I want to return the favor.
Just wait until you're healed up. Then we'll talk.
I appreciate that, but you need all the help you can get. It might take a while for me to heal completely, but I'll be fine once I'm on my feet. Put me in a combat unit. I'll pull my weight.
I wouldn't expect any less from a Sandinista Commandante.
Enough flattery. But seriously, it does not feel right for me to be sitting here while my compas are out risking their lives.
One thing's for sure. Having you out in the field would be a big boost to Sandinista morale.
Of course, our ultimate goal is still the overthrow of Somoza. But until we get ourselves back in order, we will follow your lead, wherever it takes us.
Glad to have you on board.
Non mi ricordo cosa dice questa cassetta, però non mi fido, penso che sia verso late game. Nel caso, ascolteremo più avanti. Cico... Facciamo dopo, sennò stiamo troppo fermi. Ah no, devo fare la battaglia contro... Abbiamo già dimenticato cosa dovevo combattere.
Combat.
Go.
Forget about the chopper for now. Just take out the troops.
E va bene. Recuperali! Recuperali! Sono utili! Ho sbagliato. Quello che bisogna premere il triangolo. Ops! E qua ovviamente ci sono le vibes, i ricordi del Hindy. Anche se a pilotarlo non c'è liquido. Finiti. Missioni.
Engage your request for a cardboard box. It'll be sent out shortly.
Prendi le munizioni ora. Oh, vabbè, avevo vinto tutto, guarda.
Oh yeah! Long live MSF!
Per poco. Sai che me lo dice anche a me. Mamma. Ah.
Snake, Zadornov has
Shh. No, no, non voglio sapere. Perché voi non lo conoscete neanche quel personaggio. Comunque, questa è l'ultima battaglia, questa boss fight del tipo mezzi, come dire, da adesso in poi saranno solo IA che combatteremo, proprio contro le unità quelle non con componenti umane. Quindi non avremo più carri armati, meccanizzate, elicotteri. Per quello siamo a posto. Io adesso devo andare avanti, però siccome ho paura che adesso mi aggiornino le missioni, quindi ritorno al faccione. Ritorno al faccione che devo selezionare la missione. Apriamo il menu. Vediamo se il gioco è bastardo. E ho fatto bene a mostrare il faccione. Ho fatto bene a mostrare il faccione. Torniamo alle missioni e... Allora, abbiamo battuto l'elicottero. È arrivato il momento di mostrare il laboratorio. Cioè,
Snake, infiltrate Dr. Strangelove's research lab and either deactivate or destroy the AI. The lab's built into some ancient ruins, so find those first.
ok.
Survival.
Non credo che ci siano ricognitori, non interessa. Selva della muerte.
The paths there are buried in vegetation. Work with nature to conceal yourself, and you'll be much harder to spot.
A ghillie suit would be perfect here.
In any case, take caution when advancing. Don't wear anything that stands out. The ruins are a labyrinth, so try and keep your bearings.
I could use those walls to stay out of sight.
Once a sniper is spotted, he'll move to another location. You shouldn't stick to the same place either.
Oh, I know. I learned all about that in the Soviet Union.
It is not necessarily a good idea to try to engage a sniper in close quarters combat.
No?
Finally, once you've found a place to hide, don't let them take you from behind.
Don't worry. No one sneaks up on me.
È un po' inutile, però dai, interessante. Carino, dai, carino.
So this Dr. Strangelove was at NASA?
Yeah. Well, actually, Strangelove left for DARPA not long after I joined.
And then the two of you ended up back together doing research in Costa Rica.
Not exactly together. We coordinated on a few things, but the research projects themselves were separate from each other. We had it worked out so that Dr. Strangelove handled the mammal pod, Peace Walker's cerebrum, while I did the rest.
That letter, something to do with your research?
Huh? No, it's yeah, it's a report. Research findings.
Research findings? Anything in there we could use against Peace Walker?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Just don't read it, okay? Promise me you won't?
Troppo tardi. Troppo tardi. Vabbè. Allora, la preparazione è già fatta. Via. Sono un deficiente. Passaggio. Passo ricevuto da Huey consente di accedere al laboratorio di Strangelove. Giustamente. Sono scemo. E siamo tornati subito nell'area dove abbiamo battuto l'elicottero. Questa cosa mi è sempre piaciuta un botto. Perché comunque riesce, per quanto sono tutte missioni separate, ti dà comunque la linearità della storia.
Some scouts are really hard to spot because they use grass or dirt to camouflage themselves. They blend right in with the natural surroundings.
Ciao. Ce n'è anche un altro, se non ricordo. Eccolo lì, l'ho visto. Però vabbè. Non è troppo fastidioso.
Snipers and laser sights are a deadly combination.
Hey.
Fulton recovery subject confirmed onboard helicopter.
Coglione.
Hey,
Tu m'as trouvé. C'est moi, le loup.
French. Fini de jouer à cache-cache. Dis-moi qui tu es.
Please, do not kill me.
You know, soldier.
I am a tourist.
What's your name?
Please.
What are you doing here?
Cecile. Cosima. Caminada. You're not one of
Billy.
the soldiers? Please, lower your gun. Who are you?
I'm an ornithologist.
A poacher?
The gun's for self-defense. I'm looking for that one rare bird in Costa Rica.
Which one? The Quetzal?
Right, the Quetzal. They're rare, but they're not covered under the Washington Treaty.
The resplendent Quetzal is red listed.
Really? You know your stuff.
I am an ornithologist myself.
Well, we'll have to compare notes later. Here, drink some of this.
You saved me. They told me this was a paradise. That there were more rare birds here than anywhere else. That there was no war here. That it was safe. They told me it was every birder's dream. But they were wrong.
What happened?
If only I had not recorded that stupid voice.
Voice.
I was trying to capture the Quetzal song. Making my way through a thicket, I saw immense runes towering before me.
I trace it away. It will bind fight you unless you kill it. Go home.
You're the one who made the tape.
I am loyal to myself. Who's there?
I was captured by that woman. But she was kind. She gave me food to eat and even bathed me herself each day. But she said I could go home in a month. So whatever you do, don't take off the blindfold. Do so, and you will never leave here.
Guess you didn't listen. How'd you escape?
I waited for an opening. Stole an ID card. They almost caught me, but I managed to elude them.
You made it this far and then succumbed to exhaustion.
I was barefoot, with no supplies. Oh, I am so sorry. I drank it all.
That facility. Did you see anybody else in there?
Well, there was another woman, but I never saw her in person. Because, you know, the blindfold. Oh, yes. She often sang.
Sang?
It was such a strange song.
What kind of person was she? Could you tell anything from her voice?
I don't know. I don't even know why I was held a prisoner. They confiscated my equipment, my supplies, my passport, money, everything. The only thing I was allowed to keep were my undergarments, so that I would not be able to escape. And now, I am without even the means to prove who I am. I will not make it home to Paris like this.
In that case, come to our place.
Huh?
You don't need a passport there. Don't even need a name. If you want to go back to Paris, we'll take you there anytime.
What I want is a shower, a change of clothes, and a cigarette.
I've got a cigar. It's Cuban.
No French cigarettes? I prefer unfiltered.
Fresh out. But come back to my place, and you can have all the French cigarettes you want.
It sounds like heaven.
Close, but not quite. Outer heaven.
It is sounding better all the time.
So, you must have gotten a look at the facility when you escaped, right? What's in there?
Lots of machinery. A big computer, like you would see in a university.
What about the room where you heard the voice? Anybody in there?
I don't know. There was a tube. A large tube in the back. When I approached it, I heard a voice.
What did it say?
Jack. Yes, it simply said Jack over and over.
Jack?
Listen, you've got to get me out of here. I really need a shower.
Wait here. I still got business to take care of.
What? You're not thinking of going in there, are you? You can't leave me here.
Relax. I'll have some friends pick you up.
This is Miller.
One for recovery. A civilian.
Snake, we don't have room for any more civilians here.
Not even for a blonde Parisienne.
A what? So she's, pretty foxy?
See for yourself. If what she's saying is true, I think we've found Paz's friend.
The missing one?
I'm thinking that she's the one that made that tape. Have her listen to it when she gets there.
So she's safe then. Good news.
I'm sure Paz will be glad to hear it.
You bet. Snake, the ruins are just up ahead. Head north.
On my way.
What about me?
Stay put. Ever wonder what it's like to be a bird?
Huh?
E abbiamo conosciuto anche Cécile, un nuovo membro della nostra squadra, la francesina. Scusa, hai fatto male. Non volevo. Non c'è molto per ora da dire su di lei, ne parleremo dopo, soprattutto grazie anche alle sue cassette. Avrà molto da dire. Posso già dire che comunque il suo personaggio, il personaggio di Cecile, è alquanto un easter egg, se vogliamo.
What's that?
No, niente. Hoppite lei. Fatta. E siamo arrivati.
What? It won't open. Damn.
It won't open. What's wrong with it?
Missione compiuta. Siamo andati là, non si apriva, basta, finita, ciao. Torniamo a casa. Sempre ridere sta cosa.
Snake?
Huey, your ID card isn't working. It won't open the lock.
It can't be.
What's going on?
She hates me that much? Strangelove's in charge of authorizing IDs. Sometimes a working card has its privileges removed. Say, if she decides she doesn't like that card's carrier.
You think that's what happened?
Well, I was never exactly her favorite. Well, this could be tricky. The soldiers outside aren't allowed in the lab either, so their cards won't do you any good.
Great.
Snake,
Kaz, where's Cecile?
she just got here. Hold on.
Snake!
Cecile, how'd it feel to fly?
Wonderful. For a moment, I felt what it must be like to be a bird. It almost made me want to give up my research and get a pilot's license. Did you need something?
You said you'd gotten an ID card, right?
Yes, but it was confiscated when the guards got me.
Who took it? What did he look like?
He had an orange jacket. I cannot recall his face, though.
Yeah, they all look pretty much the same. Where did it happen?
Let me think. Ah, yes! I do remember hearing the song of a nearby Quetzal.
Just what I'd expect from a birder.
Would you like to hear it?
Huh? What's that song?
It's my Quetzal. I took it with me when I was rescued.
Didn't you say something about them being covered under the Washington Convention?
Just kidding. That was just me. An imitation. An essential skill for any ornithologist. Pretty good, no?
Damn good.
If you want to hear the Quetzal song again, just let me know. I can tell you all about the birds of Costa Rica, too.
Yeah, will do. Thanks, Cecile.
No. Thank you, Snake. Talk to you soon.
Kaz, did you play that tape for Cecile?
I sure did. It's hers, all right.
Then she must be...
She's not. Cecile says she's never even met Paz.
What?
She's at least 10 years too old.
But...
I'm guessing Paz convinced herself that it was the tape her friend made. But never mind that. Let's go over what we know so far. The soldier with the ID card is wearing an orange jacket and is in a location where you'll hear Quetzal singing. Find that soldier, retrieve that card.
Ok. Successione missione. Trova il soldato che ha il pass e rubaglielo.
Snake, to gain access to the lab, you'll need an ID card. You can get one from a guard in an orange jacket stationed in an area where you can hear Quetzal singing. To get the ID card from the soldier, do a body check. You've got to get inside that lab before the AI gets shipped out. Get a move on.
Ok. Perquisizioni, no vabbè, ti spiega come si fanno le perquisizioni. Tuttavia.
I do not know if I recall such large ruins being there.
Well, didn't you say there's a lot we don't know about Costa Rica's ancient civilizations? You talked about some giant stone balls, too. What are those?
Oh, the stone spheres of Costa Rica? They are an assortment of giant spheres carved from stone that were discovered in the jungles of Costa Rica about 50 years ago.
What's so special about that?
What if I told you some of them are nearly perfect spheres, and that they were carved out of granite, which is quite a hard substance?
Could be good for laying a trap. And if they're spherical, they'd roll easily, too.
Snake!
Jones. Ok. Amanda? Ok. Chico.
Did you see a Quetzal snake?
Yep.
What do you think? Did it look like a snake?
No, it didn't look like a snake.
Oh, really? Must be different from the Quetzalcoatl then.
Quetzalcoatl.
A winged snake from the Mayan and Aztec legend.
A winged snake.
Weird, right? I bet it's you and me. Amanda and everybody says Quetzalcoatl is a Quetzal in the form of a god. But there's no way anybody mistake a snake for a bird. I think the legend of Quetzalcoatl came first. Somebody saw it and adopted it as their god before they saw the Quetzal. After that, somebody saw a bird that looked like the image of the god, and so they named it Quetzal.
You mean it happened the other way around?
Well, if you ask me, the Quetzalcoatl was probably a pterosaur that survived. I mean, it's got wings and it's a reptile, so it probably looks kind of like a snake, right? Pterosaurs live on in Africa even today. They're called the Congamato and the Elitziao. So it makes sense that there'd be pterosaurs on the American continent too, and that they survived until the Mayan and Aztec eras.
Lucky for us, they're not still around today.
Who says they aren't? The dinosaurs supposedly died out 65 million years ago, and the Aztec civilization only rose about 600 years ago. If they managed to survive 65 million years, surely they couldn't be wiped out in 600. Pterosaurs survive today in the African countries of Cameroon and Congo. Each tribe calls them by a different name, like Congamato or Litziao.
There sure are a lot of dinosaurs running around the Congo.
Well, a lot of the land hasn't been settled by humans yet. They've survived all this time, just undiscovered by man. But they're finding fossils in America too. This one they found 3 years ago in Texas had a wingspan of more than 12 meters. If I saw a gigantic pterosaur like that, I'd probably call it a god too. Yup, I'm sure that's what the Quetzalcoatl really is.
Ok, boomer. Questa l'abbiamo già sentita, Cecil. Colibrì, monachini. No, questa roba lasciamo stare. Lasciamo stare. Sono sempre... Ok. Via. Let's go. E adesso dobbiamo fare il percorso indietro per trovare questo soldato.
There's supposed to be a Quetzal singing close to where your target is located. Keep your ears open. We're counting on you, boss.
Ruins? Oh, think there's treasure hidden inside? I know it is not easy, but I have faith in you. Snake, help us reclaim peace!
Ok.
Fulton recovery helicopter is complete.
Mamma mia. Che incompetenti questi soldati. Ah.
Once you know which soldier has the ID card, do a body check. To do a body check, first knock the soldier out, or put him to sleep, or hold him up. That works too.
Somebody there? Huh, no.
Vabbè.
Somebody there? Huh, no.
Ah, bastardo.
Somebody there?
Ehi.
Freeze.
Ah.
You're doing great, Snake. Peace.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yes, that is definitely the Quetzal. He must be nearby. Now look for a soldier with an orange jacket.
Hey hey. Ciao bel maschione.
You'll have to unequip the Fulton recovery device before you do the body check.
Who are you?
Bravissimo.
Snake, pick it up. You're carrying too much stuff. You gotta drop something before you pick up a
Ecco
new
boia.
item. Open the item window. Choose the item you want to drop, and press the X button to drop it.
E adesso ci rifacciamo la strada indietro. Intanto così mi piace fare queste cose di backtracking. stare dovrebbe essere a posto, quindi posso anche qua correre. Almeno. Ah, questo è quello che doveva portare gli occhiali, giusto?
Excellent. It's open.
It can't be.
Looks like death wasn't ready for you yet.
Boss.
And who might you be?
You. Dr. Strangelove, I presume.
I've been waiting, Snake. Yes, waiting without joy or pleasure. Waiting for the one I despise.
Don't move.
Don't move. You men and your guns. You all say the same thing. I suppose you're here to destroy my research. Yes, I know. Just as I know what you did 10 years ago. Go on. Kill me like you killed her. Kill me like you killed the boss. Kill me!
What exactly do you...
Come on, Snake. Or should I say Big Boss? That filthy title given you as reward for murder. Do you still wear it with pride? You chose a shadowy country over the mentor who made you what you are. You brought despair to good soldiers everywhere. You used the pretext of a mission to kill a true hero. Is that what you call loyalty? Answer me!
The boss.
Well, what do you have to say for yourself?
She betrayed America. She stole a Davy Crockett and then defected to the other side. She used an American nuclear weapon to attack Soviet territory. The only way for Washington to prove its innocence to Moscow was to eliminate the traitor themselves. The boss's death was the only thing that could have prevented all-out nuclear war.
Is that what you call the truth?
It's the truth as it was told to me.
So the truth is that you sullied the reputation of your mentor, the woman you loved most in this world, before you buried her.
It was my mission.
Huh. So that's the conclusion you came to in order to live with yourself.
What's the boss to you?
I'm the one she abandoned when she left this world. I won't rest until I get answers from the woman I loved. You and I are the same. We are the walking dead. Would you like to meet her?
The boss is gone.
Not so fast. You'd like to meet her, wouldn't you? I can arrange it. You took her life. I gave it back.
You what?
Care for a sniff? It's only snuff. You're a cigar man, aren't you? Well, there's no smoking in there, so if you want to meet her, you'd best partake now. Follow me. This is my baby, my morpho butterfly. It's neither pupa nor cocoon, but an Amargo. A complete individual in the fullest sense of the word.
Is someone there?
Boss.
We have a visitor. I'll introduce him. Don't try anything foolish. As long as we're in here, I can reduce you to carbon at the press of a button.
Who are you? A man. A warfighter.
Boss. Is that you?
I call it the mammal pod.
Mammal pod?
For my participation on the project, I demanded access to all information on the boss. Everything the CIA had. Her personal history, military records, physiological data, correspondence, the files for every operation she took part in, every decision she ever made at every possible turn, what she took and what was taken from her, her pain and her pleasure, her joy and sorrow, her life and death, and yes, even you.
Why would you do that?
Coldman sought an MAD-based AI that would deliver an effective retaliatory strike against the most appropriate target in response to a nuclear attack from a hypothetical adversary. An unmanned device to act as a deterrent capable of making the decisions and taking the actions that human beings cannot. I therefore concluded he required a cool, calculating machine programmed to inflict swift, sure, and utter annihilation upon the enemy. No retaliation. But he took it upon himself to come up with a different answer. He said he needed the thought patterns of the very finest rational mind, one that thought on a global scale, took both past and future into consideration, and reached the best decision, no matter how painful.
And that's why you asked for everything they had on the boss.
It was the logical thing to do. I knew of only one person who could be entrusted with the fate of the entire human race.
What's your real goal here?
To clear her name. Why was a legendary hero forced to betray her country? Why was she targeted for assassination by you, her most beloved disciple? I have no use for fabrications. I want the truth. The boss's last will. You must be dying to know yourself.
No. She abandoned her country. Abandoned us all.
Really? You think you understand her feelings?
You're trying to recreate the boss's last will. Is that it?
Why don't you ask her yourself, Jack?
Jack.
What?
Jack.
Boss.
Jack.
Boss.
Jack. Go home. I'm not your boss anymore.
Boss.
Go home.
No,
Complete your mission, Snake. Extinguish that noble soul once again, if you can.
Jack. Go home. I'm not your boss anymore. Go home. Why did you come back? Go home. I'm not your boss anymore. Go home. You better stay in line from now on. Go home. I'm not your boss anymore. Go home. Go home. I'm not your boss anymore. Go home. Go home. I'm not your boss anymore. Go home. thinks they are my family. I may no longer be able to bear children.
What is this? This response? Oh, God. Discontinue!
I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
That's the way a soldier's supposed to think.
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
That's the way a soldier's supposed to think.
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
That's the way a soldier's supposed to think.
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack. I'm defecting to the Soviet Union. Jack, you can't come with us.
Già. Adesso finalmente si può dire che è sempre stata un'IA, quella che avevo sentito fin dall'inizio. Un'IA creata da Dr. Strangelove. Non mi perderò molto coi dialoghi, anche perché siamo già più di 2 ore di live e concluderò questa boss fight e battuto il Chrysalis la chiudiamo qua per oggi. Quindi senza perdere tempo prepariamoci alla battaglia. Ecco, l'unica cosa, scusate se ho fatto così cagare.
That's the chrysalis weapon Huey was referring to. You know what to do.
Se nelle i quick time event sono stato un po' cane, però Peace Walker in questo è veramente bastardo. Non credo che ci siano parti a mia, no? Laboratorio A, no? Alarma. Già sentito. Huey. Che praticamente... sì, non ha niente da dire. Go.
Take out the chrysalis. That thing needs to be eliminated once and for all. Those rounds will chew through any wall you try to hide behind. Fog's getting thick. Careful you don't lose sight of that chopper. If you lose sight of the enemy, look for the red light.
Stai un po' fermo. Palle. Voilà. Bastardo. Chiama Karma. Bastardo. Lo so, è ancora... Ma nel mentre...
They've okayed your request for software code. It'll be sent out shortly.
Porca troia. Maledetto scalino.
Hit that thing with rockets.
Tanto credo che questa sia la prima volta che... Vediamo un po', fallo dopo. Prima volta che vediamo una ray gun nella Metal Gear Saga. A livello cronologico, ovviamente. Sì. Se te non c'era?
Pull out all the unlocked memory boards. Pull out the memory boards. All the unlocked boards will have icons over them. Any boards you remove can be used to build our own AI weapon. Memory boards have different functions according to the icons displayed over them. Go ahead and take whichever ones you want. If you attack parts on the exterior of the machine, the memory boards that control those parts should light up. You can tell what a memory board does by looking at its color when it lights up. Snake,
She played me like a piano.
forget about it. You'll get him back. That is, as long as you've got the will to do it.
I am not giving up.
All right, then. I confirmed the location with Huey. The final testing base for Peace Walker is 15 miles to the north of that lab. It's an underground facility disguised as a rock quarry. All you need to do is sneak in and destroy the AI for good this time.
Right.
Snake, you can destroy it, right?
Yeah.
We all have our limits. Actions beyond our abilities.
Don't worry. I won't screw it up this time.
You're the one who killed the boss. Destroying that AI means reliving that memory.
It's just a machine.
Snake, I'm worried.
Worried?
For the same reason the CIA entrusted the nuclear launch to an AI. A man can condemn a handful of criminals to the death penalty if they're prepared to assume that responsibility. But who among us could do the same to hundreds of millions of innocent civilians? Who could reduce thousands of years of human history to ash in an instant? Could any flesh and blood human being make that decision? No way in hell. No one man could bear the burden of total genocide. It's what's allowed our cowardly species to survive all this time. But for a machine, willpower is no issue.
What are you saying, Kaz?
You're a hero, Snake, but you're not a machine.
That I can't destroy that thing?
That machine's not the problem. It's that the boss still lives inside of you.
Bullshit!
She's dead, Snake. It's time to come to terms with that. Let me put it another way. You've left everything behind. Your country, your identity, your past and ideals. But there's still one thing you haven't let go of.
What are you talking about?
The boss. You still haven't let her go. That's why you're so afraid to find out the truth about her. And that's what's holding you back from your future. Snake, she died a decade ago. How long can you live with a ghost?
Kaz, I thought I knew everything about her. But I still don't understand what happened to her at the end.
There, you're no different from that scientist woman.
When she didn't believe me, I realized something. That debriefing I heard could have been part of the cover story they made up. Now, even I'm not sure what her real intentions were. Why did she take that mission? How did she feel about dying? Why was I chosen?
You want to know the truth?
Ah!
The truth won't change the past. You still want to know?
No. I took on this mission for a kid who believes in peace.
Fine then. There's no point in arguing. Peace Walker is on the verge of completion. Come on, boss. Let's get to that base.
Dieci anni sono passati, ma non riesce ancora ad accettarlo. E qua chiudiamo. La prossima live arriveremo sicuro fino alla miniera e probabilmente ci saranno delle cose belle e carine. Ormai saremo a metà gioco, immagino. Non saprei a dire il vero. Comunque, ci vediamo la prossima volta. Io in realtà spero di farla anche già domani, la prossima live, se per quello, perché appunto, come dicevo con la prima, vorrei cercare di, in questa settimana di finirlo, così con la prossima siamo pronti per andare con The Phantom Pain e con The Last of Us, parte 2. Quindi se non sarò troppo in coma, anche se effettivamente può essere, ma se tutto va bene, domani pomeriggio Oggi ho iniziato tardi, ho iniziato alle 4, domani preferirei iniziare magari un po' prima, sulle 3. Se non domani, allora mercoledì alle 3. Alla prossima e peace!